Hello, my name is Miles, and I am your host of Stop Stigma, Start Healing, the raw and uncensored podcast where we talk openly and unapologetically about our lives as trans, lesbian, bi, gay, queer, and HIV positive humans. Our goal is to stop the stigma that prevents us from getting the health care we deserve. Each episode, we feature real people in our community in conversation and storytelling. And here is our disclaimer. The experiences shared here are valuable and important. They are based on the lives of those in the space and some of you who are listening. Prepare to be educated, shocked, seen, triggered, and informed. But no matter your response, keep the conversation going. Start healing. So I get to spend my evening with these three awesome humans. One I just met more recently. I was going to say out on the street, but that seemed odd. But we've had some conversations prior to today. And two of you I know a little bit better. But if we could first go around, say our first name, pronouns, and then a brief little introduction, like what do you want those at home to know about you? And why don't we start here? We'll go around if you're ready.
I am Francesca. I usually use she, her pronouns. I really don't care what you call me. The best thing you can call me is mama, friend, or advocate.
So what do you want us to know? Just a brief little bit of you.
And what I want you to know is that no matter what your struggle is, it is worth going through it, because every obstacle you face is there to get you to the blessing on the other side, or your come up, whatever word you want to use, blessing, come up, whatever. Something better is just over that speed bump, no matter how small or large. And it's just getting over it, around it, through it, however.
Okay.
It's getting there.
Thanks, Francesca. Next.
Hi, I'm Trina. I use pronouns his, her, she. And I just say don't hide behind the lines, and be free and be open to who you are. Never hide anything. And if you in a relationship, let your mate know.
Good deal. And last but not least,
I'm Teresa, and my pronouns will be she, basically a her. And my thing is, I would like to let everybody know, just be who you are, no matter what trials and tribulations comes up against you. Believe in yourself, and pretty much just trust and have faith.
Okay. Interesting. You all gave it like a philosophical answer as to like who you are. So I already am loving tonight. So, so thanks for being on this episode. We are going to be talking specifically about women and HIV. And I think you three have a lot to share that I think would be interesting for folks at home to hear about. So I appreciate you coming in and sharing your experience and insights with us and those that are listening. But just as like a little like icebreaker, what's your dream vacation?
I want to go to Hawaii.
What's up with Hawaii? Hawaii?
Just the water is warm. You know, only place I ever been to is Florida.
Okay.
So, I want to explore.
Take it to the next level.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I would like to go to Jamaica.
Oh.
I've been to Florida. I mean, not Florida. I've been to Florida, and I also been to Africa, Ghana, and Nigeria. So,
oh, wow. So Jamaica's next on the stop for you.
Mm-hmm.
What about Jamaica, though? I mean, what about it that's interesting?
I'm trying to get my groove back.
Oh, okay.
It's interesting.
Pretty sure that it's there.
That's right. I'm like, I know that's right.
And
My dream ever since the fourth grade and seeing pictures and learning about Fiji, I don't know why, but I've never given up on my dream since the fourth grade to go to Fiji, walk the sands, and learn how to fish like the people of Fiji and casting the nets and weaving a net with the grass from the water, like the seagrass, and casting a net. And really, I'm also a Cancer by astrological sign, so
Okay.
I love water. Water is very grounding to me, but that is my absolute dream vacation. So
Okay.
if someone wants to go fund me, I'm willing.
You are all island bound.
Yes.
Good deal. Good deal. Well, so in preparation for today's episode, I just did a little digging. So in real honesty, so I'm for those who are listening, I'm a therapist. I do treatment. The majority of folks that I have treated who are HIV positive are men. And so I know that there are women out there are trans folks out there, and I don't think the stories are told enough. I don't think you see the representation in the marketing and the media. I don't think, and so I just didn't know much. And so I thought, let me do a little digging, see what I can find out. Some pretty shocking numbers. So here comes the shock, which may not be a shock to you also. 19% of new HIV diagnoses in the United States are women. 19%. 4 in 10 trans women are living with HIV. 2 out of 3 trans Black women test positive for HIV. Black women account for 60% of new HIV infections.
Wow.
And then Black women are 15 times more likely to die from HIV than white women. Those are shocking. Those are shocking numbers. And coming from someone who's been in the white gay male community, those were, I've always known a bit, but not, it was to see those numbers that was pretty shocking. And so I think all the more reason why this episode is important, that you three share your story. So hopefully some women who are listening out there can find some experience, strength, and hope. And we can start to turn the tide on this. So once again, thank you for being here.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go a little bit more into, if you don't mind, tell us a little bit more about your story in terms of your relationship with HIV. And whoever wants to go first, I won't make eye contact.
Okay. I have a boyfriend and he's negative. And we've been together for like 10 years and he knows that I'm positive. And we have ups and downs. How can I put it? He like, when we get in the arguments, he like kind of tried to throw it in my face a little bit. I mean, it don't hurt me because I got to live with it for the rest of my life. So, I just look past it, But other than that, I got 2 jobs. I work hard every day for my living.
Mm-hmm.
I got a stable home. I have good family. And just be open, about your positive. Be open for your HIV positive. Don't hide it. Just be open about it because it's going to be with you for the rest of your life, And if you're not getting help, get help.
Mm-hmm. Do you mind if I ask a follow-up question?
Yeah.
Would you feel comfortable sharing a little bit more about how long you've been HIV positive and what that health journey has been like for you?
Yes. I learned in 2008 that I was positive. I was with another guy. We kind of went to the blood bank and got our blood drawn, but they said no. I had to wait around for a while. Mm-hmm. And we found out together, but he stayed with me. Okay. He was negative as well. And it's been a journey. At first I was scared to let it out, I was scared. I was hiding behind everything because I didn't want nobody to know. I didn't know if anybody was going to treat me different. So, I kind of hid it. But my boyfriend, he told my parents and, he told a lot of people. And then I just start being free and open about it.
Okay. Thank you for that. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. It's been a long journey for me. It's been 27 years. This was in about 1996. Leaving a husband, relocating to Georgia in 1996. And I met someone like 2 months later, and we got in a relationship. And 6 months later, we broke up because he just it wasn't working out for us. So I had no idea that he might have had anything in, and I'm using unprotected sex, not even thinking that, that there's something like HIV could be coming to my life at all. Mm-hmm. Just falling in love, looking for love in all the wrong places, like I always have been. So I caught the flu, and within that 6 months, and next thing I know, I had 2 lymph nodes on the back of my neck, and I kept feeling them. So I'm like, what is this? So I'm thinking that maybe it's just cancer or something like that. I knew it had to be something. So I went to the emergency room there, and they checked me, and they said, it's just your lymph nodes swollen. That's it. So they sent me back home. So it took a year. I had got involved with someone else at the time. And it took a year and a half for me to go back again to check on those lymph nodes. I'm like, okay, they still here. What's going on? So they check me for everything. And they say, do you mind if we check you for all the infection diseases and things like that? I'm like, oh, yeah, sure. Go ahead. Never would have known what I would have thought about HIV. So in a few days, they called me back in. And I go in, and there's a room full of people. I'm like, oh, this is serious. This got to be really serious. And my boyfriend with me. Actually, the new guy, he's with me and everything. And so when they told me, that's when they shared that you're positive. You're HIV positive. I was shocked. Because I never was the type of person who sleeps around or promiscuous. And it was always like one individual at a time, like years in between and everything. So, yeah, but I took it. I thought I was real strong about it. He was real strong about it. He said, I ain't worried about it. I'm not going to leave you for that, He said he stuck in there with me until, we broke up or whatever, but it wasn't behind me having HIV. Mm-hmm. So eventually I went to work the next day. I had a job, a warehouse job. I had to go to work the next day after I received this information. And it wasn't easy at all. And even today, 27 years later, it still is not that easy. Mm-hmm. I try, I don't let it get to me because it's just a part, HIV lives with me. Mm-hmm. I don't live with it. Mm-hmm. So I go on my life like I always have been for all the many years. Do what I have to do, take my medicine on time, take care of myself, work and all of that, and raise 3 kids after that. Had to raise 3 kids. So, and that's why I'm here today.
Thanks, Teresa. Thanks for sharing that.
Yes, you're welcome.
Francesca?
I think I've always been involved in some sort of way in HIV, even whenever it was first coming out in 1981. I was in high school in Florida, and I was struggling with my identity. Was I gay? Was I trans? Who was I? But I was aware of it. I got involved. I did what I could. I was part of journalism in my high school, so I was writing those articles. And then in 1999, to fast forward, I had just gotten out of a marriage, a 6-year marriage that I was trying to live and be the straight male that I knew I wasn't, but I was trying to fit in and conform to what family society wanted me to be. And then I started doing drag again because I had burnt my drag before I got married, blah, 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 all of that. So in 1999, I was carjacked, I was raped, I was held for 3 days hostage, I was dumped in a ditch. I was found 3 days after that, and I was taken to the hospital. They did the test. a police officer did a report and told me I deserved it for trying to be a woman. And that I deserved HIV at the time. Fortunately, I had a nurse who was, who said no one deserves to get a death sentence. And at the time when the doctor came in the room, he told me I should get my affairs in order, and I would probably have 6 months to a year. And I said, I'm not a fucking gallon of milk. I don't have an expiration date. So I can say from December 1st, 1999 to now, I've taken whatever years these are, the 22, 23 years. And I've done things I never thought I would do. But I will say, as many people say, I count HIV a blessing because it was a wake-up call. It was a call to activation. And one of the greatest lessons I was taught, like Teresa said, I was taught keep it as a silent roommate. Make it live with you, and you dominate it. Do not allow HIV to be dominating you.
Yes.
Thanks for that, Francesca. And actually, you had shared a little bit about like what you knew about HIV prior. I wonder with you two, what did you know? What was your beliefs? What did you know about HIV before you were diagnosed?
Well, my uncle had AIDS,
Okay.
and he had it since 1980 something.
Okay.
And I knew a little bit about it. I didn't know too much. I mean, he tried to tell me about it, but I wasn't really interested in it. But when I caught it, I did read up on it to find out how or what to do, or, how to protect others from it. But I didn't have no knowledge when I first got HIV in 2008.
Other than your uncle's experience?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I'm 66 years old, and I was almost 40, I think, when this came upon me. Before that, it was people just dying that came in contact with it, and that's basically all I knew about it. I didn't really know anything. I didn't know anything, of course, about the viral load, the CD4s, or any of that. I just know that, when you get it, if you get it, you 9 times out of 10 will be passing away. So basically, I didn't know. I mean, I knew also that you can get it certain ways, but still, the stigma of it all, you people still didn't know if you could get it kissing, touching, or any of those. Any ways, drinking after somebody or any of that. So, but I found out more later on down the road. That's for sure. Thank God.
Yes.
After you were diagnosed, or
After I was diagnosed.
that's when you got
Yes.
the education really about
Yes.
how it was transmitted?
Yes.
Unfortunately, right?
Yes. Unfortunately.
Do you have anything more for that, Francesca?
I think it's really different because I was doing benefits as a drag queen. I was doing things and raising funds in that for people living and dying from it. And I wasn't aware of how much compassion and empathy was required or needed. I thought, I just thought, okay, and these dollars are going to help extend someone's life. They're giving someone a bed and a home and a hospice care. It was just expected, and I just kind of expected as a gay male, whatever, doing drag, questioning my identity. I just figured, okay, it will get me eventually. It's just going to be part of my story. But I think back in the 80s, we had one female person I knew of who was diagnosed, and then even back then, we were talking about women becoming infected because men were on the down low. They were doing this, they were doing that because of society and the need to fit in with society. But yet, it was still, I think the reality shifts, it changes when you're aware of it. But whenever it comes home to reside and take up residence within your body, your temple, your space, your sanctuary, whatever, then it becomes real. Then it becomes, oh, this is a real wake up call. I really have to really learn compassion and empathy for myself so that I can give it to others better.
Yeah.
How did families? You mentioned a little bit, Trina. How did your families and community initially support you, and how has that changed?
Okay.
Yeah.
So when my mom told her mother, and then it just spread it throughout my family. So when I was at gatherings, it was like, do y'all have plastic forks and spoons? Don't let her hit our black, or, just little stuff I noticed. So I stayed away mainly, away from my family. But now it's different because I guess they know the history of it and how can you catch it and stuff like that. So they're kind of more open to me, but not my immediate family. It was more like my cousins and my aunt's kids and stuff like that. But it wasn't my immediate family. They always pulled me in, they always held me up.
Yeah. What do you think changed the other part of your family? You said they eventually changed.
I think they just read and learned about it and figured out that you can't catch it from saliva and like different stuff. It's like bloodborne pathogen and, stuff like that. I think they just read the history of it and really opened up to me now.
Thanks.
Okay. Well, for me, I'm basically a loner, and I don't have many friends or anything. Never did. But I have 3 kids, so I ended up telling my children, and they didn't take it that well. One said that she was going to have a baby before she thought I was going to pass away, so she was trying to get pregnant at the age of 14 that she was. And but the others, they just kept quiet about it and everything, and just showed me love. But I have some family members, my sisters. I have a couple sisters that I did tell. And behind my back, I heard that they were saying something about the dishes, the silverware, and things like that. And also, at one point, one said to my daughter, "You mean to tell me you let her son drink behind her?" And that's really cold, and we were close, me and her. So that was, but I just stayed strong about it and just took it in like, they just don't know what they're talking about. I feel sorry for other people. I started just feeling sorry for people who even think that way. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, basically, I just, let them think the way they wanted to think and went on with my life. It spreads too. You tell one person and hear everybody. It was, my kids had told people I ain't even had no idea why they even would tell anybody. Mm-hmm. I just laugh about it. I'm like, oh, they do know? I mean, I didn't tell them. I mean, okay. They was felt like it's open. They don't feel there's any problem sharing my status with people. They don't. I think for the good and not the bad. I don't think like they're trying to say, my mother got this because, and we should be careful. In other words, because, in other words, in a good way, like, okay, we should be careful. We should be using condoms, or we should be careful about it because this what could happen because my mother came in contact with it. Yeah, so.
How did it change? How did your family change?
Basically, they ain't changed.
Oh, okay. No. Okay. I was kind of hearing that, but I was like, I didn't want to
change.
Yeah, assume that, but it sounded like things hadn't really changed.
They really about this. Everything's about the same, pretty much that I know of. My children just take it like it ain't nothing to it. But other family members, they don't even mention it. They don't even talk to me about it. They don't even pretty much ask me how I'm doing or anything. So it's like it's never there. It's like it's never there. So, okay. Yes.
It's
turn to you.
amazing to me how 40 years later this question is still so relevant and timely because whenever I was diagnosed, I had community I thought that would support me. Instead, they used the words, well, oh, and you got the cancer then, and that's what we used to call it was the cancer, or they would say, oh, so you're going to be ate up. All of those things we used to say. I called my parents, and I'm from a very rural town in Florida, backwoods, hillbilly, raised in a trailer, grew up FFA. There's a joke there. But yeah, they were, my family was the first ones. I told my dad, and my dad said, well, okay, and you're not going to die from it. We're focused on your brother dying. Right now, my brother was dying of stomach cancer at the time, and he was terminal. So whenever I told them, I was like, I hate to put this on your plate, but if this happens, we need to be prepared for another cremation, and I want you to pre-grieve because I want you to celebrate. I don't want you to cry. So, I wanted to give them enough notice, but ironically enough, my dad has preceded me, 2 uncles. My brother has preceded me in death, and everything. And sometimes I feel guilt about that because my brother, my nephews, my dad didn't get to see their grandchildren grow up. My brother didn't get to see his daughter grow up from the age of 2. And then when I went to her high school graduation, it really hit me. I was a ball of nerves on the floor at the old high school graduation. I was a ball of emotion, and they had to pick me up off of the floor because of the survivor guilt I was feeling. But just seeing his picture and knowing, hey, I survived for a reason, so everything I do now may be that reason.
So I'm going to throw a zinger at you. I had a question that I didn't ask you to prepare for. So there again, share what you're comfortable sharing. But because I think a lot of people at home think HIV, death sentence, you're going to get cancer. I wonder if you would be comfortable sharing what has your health been like since your diagnosis? What is it like living with HIV?
Well, I want to start from the beginning. Like when I found out that I had HIV, I used to get yeast infections a lot. I didn't know. So one day I was at work. I worked at McDonald's, and I couldn't see. Like my eyes just got so blurry, and I couldn't see anything. So they led me to the back. I went to the hospital. They said nothing was wrong with me. Maybe I should go and do something, but back to the subject. I forgot the subject. I'm sorry.
That's okay. So we were just talking about your healthcare journey once you were diagnosed.
So when I first got it, yes, I used to get yeast infections. I didn't know what was going on with me, but I got diagnosed. Well, I think I caught it from my boyfriend. Like I wasn't out there giving it up for every guy. Every relationship I've been in has been a long-term relationship. But the guy that I got it from, he didn't know he had it either. So, like, I guess we met up at the doctor's office like years in, and he like, what are you doing here? And I'm like, what are you doing here? We was kind of asking each other, and he was like, I didn't know. And I'm like, if I did give it to you, I'm sorry. So it was hard, but I'm fine now.
Did you start medication right away? And
right now I'm trying to get my medication.
Okay.
I've been going through different case managers.
Sure.
And I didn't start my medication right then. Like it took me a whole 2 years because I was scared to go to the doctor. I didn't want anybody to see me going in there.
Yeah.
And I started at OSU.
Okay.
Yeah, my medicines. Well, I did a clinical trial with them. So I was on that medicine for like a while. Then I switched over.
Okay. Teresa, how about you?
Okay. In the beginning, it said when it was explaining to me about the viral load and the CD4 counts, which like I said, I don't understand it, but they broke it down to about the viral load, and it was up in the thousands. I say, if it was up in the thousands, then can you tell me how long? I don't understand how long maybe I've had this, because it was, the way the numbers was like, they say, well, look like it might be at about within 2 years, within a 2-year frame, because it was up in the thousands. I think the CD4, was
Your
up in the
viral load was up.
yeah, the viral load was up in the thousands. So the CD4 was 400.
Okay.
It was 400 and something at the time. So they said that they would go ahead on and start me off medication right away.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, and then the medication they started me off with, I don't know, I've been on about at least 4 different types of medication. But in the beginning, the medication started to make my legs hurt. My legs was hurting. I'm saying, oh no, my legs, I'm not taking this. So I said, I'm gonna stop taking it. So they did. So then, at one point they had to put me on a genotype. They had to do me a test to see which one of these medicines would agree with my system.
Yeah.
And they told me that according to your system, you are limited. You are very limited to these medications. So, but they found one that, okay, we're going to put you on this one and let's see how that goes. But all these many years, I've been switched. Like I said, within some years, I've been switched like 3 or 4 times. Either the cholesterol done went up too high. One of them affects cholesterol and different things like that. So my doctor took me off of those. But here lately, they got the new medications in these days and times right now is just 1 pill a day and things like that. I don't want to keep on switching medications. And my doctor knows this. I'm not I don't want, here I'm on this and the next minute I'm on that. No, so I'd be skeptical about changing medication. Yeah. And then he just broke it down to me about this new one that they have out that's just 1 pill a day and that's all you take. I said, okay, I try it. So far so good. Everything is good. The viral load is undetectable, and it's been undetectable for some years though. It's been at least 15 more years since I've been undetectable.
Yeah.
And my CD4 is like running 1,200, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. The highest it went was 1,800.
Wow.
The CD4. That's the highest.
Amazing. For those listening at home, that's really good.
Yes.
That is really good.
Yeah,
I'm always concerned about this.
Sure.
The way they got it now is that they only looking at your viral load. But I'm not. I'm looking at my CD4 too. And the reason why I want to keep up with my CD4 because from the beginning it was 400. And they said, okay, it's 400, but 200, if you get 200, that's the AIDS stage. Then you will be diagnosed as having AIDS. Yeah. So that's why even today I'm concerned about my CD4.
Okay.
Because it can fluctuate up and down, around, and they say, so you never know. Just that, but I do. I want to keep up with mine, and I always will.
Good. And I'm not a medical provider, but let's see if we can agree on some definitions. So CD4 is our immune system, the level of immunity is like I always think like the warriors in our body that kick
it fights off infections,
butts when it gets in our body. The viral load is how many copies of the virus are in your
detected.
Yeah,
that's
certain
how
amount of your
much
blood.
can be measured.
Yeah,
within your blood draw.
And so you're saying above 200 CD4 count keeps you in the HIV range. Below 200,
2 in the boy.
I was at 8 at one point.
You were how much?
8.
8.
Yes.
Your CD4 count got as low as 8.
8.
Did you have any health issues as a result?
No.
Because that's really low, right?
Yeah.
It's a blessing.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
a
it's
blessing.
also
Blessing.
I think it's also important to recognize and say when you have an AIDS diagnosis, you will always have an AIDS diagnosis. And I think while we're at it, you can have an AIDS diagnosis and be HIV positive. You can be double HIV positive as well, or triple or quadruple HIV
But
positive
I still
because
have
of the
HIV.
strains.
Say that again.
I still have HIV.
HIV?
I have
Okay.
not went over to
Not
AIDS
crossed
yet.
over.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to tell your health journey?
Well, for me, I think my health involves a trinity, and I say a trinity because I'm also a licensed ordained pastor, and I don't care if you have a faith or no faith. Having no faith is still a faith to believe that there is nothing to believe in, so that's still a faith. But for me, it's about my mental, spiritual, and emotional. And what I will say is that all of those have been affected. I mean, especially as a trans woman, they've been affected. Um, I will just say my mental health. I've been in therapy for over 30 years with my gender identity, dealing with trauma. I've just entered trauma. And I think this is the first time I'm going to say this publicly or whatever, but I have struggled with hoarding for the past 25 years. So I finally entered a hoarding treatment plan. And what is not talked about is how common hoarding is within our community because of the stigma and the isolation within dating, etc. it can put us into. So I've just entered into another treatment program on top of my emotional.
Yeah.
But I will say whenever I first began meds, I was taking 28 HIV medications to begin with, and I was in food service, like Teresa. I have a very strong mutation, and I have to be careful. I've developed a resistance to Sestiva, one of the medications. What I can say is I'm fortunate now to be living in the realm of U equals U, which is undetectable means untransmittable. So I cannot transmit. I would never want to intentionally transmit. And I'm also on Cabenuva every other month, and I like that because there were days I would forget to take my pill. So now I'm not worried about missing my HIV diagnosis, my HIV medication, it's all the other stuff. But as a trans person, to get some of the other surgeries I needed because of the belly weight that many HIV people carry and did carry back in the day, I had to have bariatric surgery, which is weight loss surgery to remove this extra fat. So now my health, I'm eating every 2 hours. My health is really important. I don't take it for granted. But yeah, so I just felt like, hey, if saying I've struggled with hoarding and that helps you out there, just know you're not alone.
We are going to take a short break for a little commercial, and we'll be back with a few more questions. So join us here in just a few minutes.
All right.
HIV can lead to isolation. Make connections and find support that helps you heal. Let's talk. Living Positively and Positive Sisterhood are two of the many HIV support groups you'll find at equitashealth.com. Check us out. Start healing. Welcome back to Stop Stigma, Start Healing. And we are here with three awesome women talking about women in HIV. And Trina and Teresa and Francesca, I have a zinger question for you. So what is it like to be HIV positive and date? What's that experience like for you?
OMG.
Hashtag OMG.
Well, For me, I've been married 6 times. I think it's been 3 times after I've been diagnosed. It was 3 times. So it's still, I'm divorced today. And what I can say about it is that it's still something that carries on from every relationship that you get. Thinking the question that you have to, what it is that you have to tell the person who's trying to get involved with you. And that main question you have to tell them is that you have to tell them that you're HIV positive. That has not been an easy journey, and it still is not an easy journey. It gets a little better, I guess, every relationship, because I'm trying to get bold with, okay, once a person say they like me, then they get into trying to maybe get serious with me, maybe then I'll tell them that I'm HIV positive. That way I can see, okay, if this person, I don't care if they leave or whatever, it don't matter to me. But most people that I've been dating has been actually negative people. Negative. They have been negative. So it's not like I had to go jump in, find someone that's positive too. I feel like I don't need to do that. I shouldn't have to do that. I'm looking for love. I'm a woman that's looking for love like everyone else. Just whether or not no matter what they have. So, but all in all, it's still, I'm not going to let HIV stop me from love or stop me from getting married again or any of that. I might be on my way to marriage again.
And you heard that here, that she is single. I heard a little plug in there.
Don't define me. I'm a good woman. A woman that something happened to her and that's about it.
Yeah.
Other than that, people need to look past that. It's a lot of women out there, and I know you all is out there. Don't be scared. Don't think to have low self-esteem and belittle yourself and think that HIV is going to stop somebody from talking to you. Then nowadays, most of the guys told me they don't care. I don't know, maybe they was on drugs.
Trina or Francesca? Dating.
Okay,
Disclosure. Do you date, Trina?
Yes, I have a boyfriend. I have no kids. Me and my boyfriend been together for going on 11 years now. And he's not positive, but he give a lot of negative energy about me having it. So I would say, be open to your partner, but don't let them down you or degrade you or tell you you're nothing because you have HIV. Don't let them, get in front of people and then try to put your business out there when it's not their business, Just be free and be open to what you have.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, Trina.
Right.
Dating is really difficult for me as a trans woman because it's like the devil coming out every single day as a trans woman. Even though I put it on the dating sites, hey, I am a post-op trans woman. Meaning I've had my gender confirmation surgery. Then I put I'm living with HIV. I'm HIV positive, living in the U=U realm. And then most men expect me to educate them about my transness, or they want to ask questions about my operation. They want me to send them a picture to prove that I've really had it. And I'm not going to send you a picture. You wouldn't ask any other woman to send you a picture. It's really difficult to date. And also with the laws, like disclosure. And I just need to throw this in there because I'm also on other committees. Even if you're pos and you meet someone else who is pos, you have to share your status with that other pos person. Otherwise, you can be held legally responsible for not disclosing your status. And if someone wants to go for cocktails, I generally don't go for cocktails because a person living with HIV, if you have cocktails and you go to bed with someone and they wake up the following morning and they have second thoughts, they could say, well, you never told me because I wasn't coherent. I could not comprehend because I was drunk, whatever. Those are different issues. However, as a trans woman, all those laws affect me. Really, I'm always cautious about dating who I date because I never know. Because as a trans woman, when I lived in Charlotte, I was stabbed in my head 15 times. So my head has been stapled in the back 15 times. With 15 staples, I don't mean 15 times I've had staples, but there's been a series of staples in the back of my head, whatever. I'm trying to make sense of what I'm trying to say. But what I will say is it's really, really difficult to date. Now, I will say I'm on Facebook dating, and I've had men say, well, I'm in the same boat as you living with HIV, but I'm not as brave to put it out there. And so, yeah, there's another plug. I'm single, ready to mingle. So maybe there's a podcast in there for you to bring singles together, Miles, and bring us together so we can mingle.
This is the dating game.
Yeah, play the dating game.
I want no part of that. Yeah, I will
Yes.
say just to piggyback on that, and I know you're probably aware of it, and others are as well, that there is an attempt in the state of Ohio they're working on the modernization of the HIV disclosure laws. And so there are opportunities for people to get involved. If you're listening at home, they're not removing the disclosure laws. What they say is they're modernizing it and the way the information is shared and who needs to get it and when do you need to get it. So there are efforts to change that.
Because I really think about the laws. Children who are born HIV positive, and we have children who are born HIV positive with the law already held against them, and before they can speak, how does a baby who can't speak disclose a status when they're playing on the mat with another baby? How does that happen? And that's a fear with some people. And just for the record, so that many of you know, we call those individuals lifetimers. Instead of long-time survivors, they are known as lifetimers.
Okay.
I was recently informed.
But we will bring it back to women.
Please.
Okay.
I invited you all to here. Invited you all here to speak, and I want to make sure I've asked you a lot of questions, and you may have come in tonight with some things that you wanted to make sure that folks at home heard. And so you got a hot mic in front of you. Here's your moment to share what you want to share with people out there in podcast land. And Trina's like already warming up her vocal cords.
Well, I did want to have children,
Okay.
but I'm like scared. My boyfriend right now, he wants to have a baby, but I'm scared to, I don't want to bring my baby in with that, I mean, it's not a bad thing, but I just don't want them to go through what I went through in my life. A relationship is good. It's a good thing. I've been in it for a long time. I mean, he is encouraging. He encouraged me to make sure I take my pills and stuff like that. But
Thanks for that. And you can be a parent and have HIV.
Sure
So
can.
that my doctor have acknowledged that to
Yeah.
me. But I just I just don't want to take no chances.
Sure. And there's other ways to become parents.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, you know all of these things. That's for the birds and the bees. That's the next podcast.
Okay.
How about you, Teresa?
Okay. What was the question again?
You came here today. What message would you like to make sure that you share with the women folk listening?
I think I want to share that as women, we need to stick together. And I know there's a lot of women out there that's HIV positive as well, but we can't seem to even come together with the meetings, support group meetings and things for women. And there's some out there. The one I'm in now is not even just for women. It's for whoever. And since I have been a part of it and in the last few months, because I strayed away from meetings as well, but I think we need to start back coming together on this and to be able to share our life, situations with each other. And I think it helps a lot. I've been feeling really good about the meeting, the support group meeting that I've been going to. I just I'm not going to miss. I don't even want to miss. So I make sure that, nothing is going to come that day. And I just want to make sure I'm coming. It helps a lot, I think, for as far as talking to each other in the same space. And we all, dealing with the same situation. But it's, it seems like, nobody comes out. They don't want to participate in these meetings. And it would help a lot for each one of us to be able to come together, and you can learn from each other as well. And it is about support. Mm-hmm. It's about support. So as we all in this together, and it's just not me or you, Trina or Francesca. It's a lot of every other woman probably out there that can come to these meetings, and we get to know each other and maybe do things with each other and things like that. So that's what I would like to share.
What an amazing ambassador. And HIV is very isolating, right?
It's
it can
very
feel
isolated.
like a very private,
scared.
It's
They're
scary
scared
thing. Yeah.
People be scared to express that they have HIV. It is hard. It is hard.
They just don't want you to know they have
Yeah.
it. Just, when, you can't even look at a person and say, oh, they got HIV.
Yeah,
you
you
will
can't.
really be surprised.
Yes,
we would really be surprised. The people who are walking around just like we are in stores, in the grocery stores, in Walmart, at church, number one, places that, that people are actually positive. But they don't, it's fear.
It's fear.
And we just can't let fear keep on sitting into our lives, destroying our lives.
Amen.
So that's what, that's what I wanted to say tonight.
There was our soundbite, by the way. Thanks,
fear.
Jason.
Well, I have so much to say, but I'm gonna try
Yes.
to
We want to make sure we get to
single it
bed.
out. Yes, we do, and I have a dinner to go to.
Yes, you do.
I'm meeting my brother and some friends.
Okay.
But what I want to say to you is this: it is okay to be a woman and be sexually healthy and be sexually worthy. It is okay to want it. It is okay to feel empowered to need it. And like Trina said, you don't let anyone make you feel less than because you are more than. And what I want most of all for you to know, it is okay for you to take your sexual health, your sexual wellness, and your control. It is okay for you to carry the condom. It is okay for you to carry the lube. It is okay for you to carry it in your purse like a tube of lipstick or your fragrance or whatever. It should be part of your healthcare package or your first aid package you carry in your purse. And I just want you to know, I hope those of you living with HIV become more active, become involved. Because if you say politics don't matter, it does matter. Because everything matters. It's not about a water fountain anymore. It's about your rights. It's about your rights as a person living with HIV. And if you're not at the voting booth, if you're not showing up, I always wear my ribbon whenever I'm a precinct official. I always wear my trans button or wear trans colors to signify so that someone knows someone is there who looks like them, acts like them, speaks like them. And I think it is okay for you to write these boards and marketing and your ASOs and say, I need to see someone who looks like me on your boards. I need to see someone who is kissing me as a straight woman. I need to see a man kissing me. I need to see that love when I come in here, and it is okay. So I just want you to feel hopeful, inspired, and know you can be victorious.
That's right.
Yes.
Very good. Well, I appreciate all three of you coming today. I've learned a lot about HIV, about being a woman who has HIV, living positively. I also, fun fact for those listening at home, I also got schooled and you don't put your purse on the ground.
Yes. Do not.
So that was another takeaway that I have for tonight, because apparently if you put your purse on the ground, what's that mean?
It's bad luck.
Bad luck for what reason?
You never put your bag on the ground or you will go broke. So ladies, please, your bags never go on the floor. And besides, and you never know where those shoes have been that have walked on the floor.
So don't put
when you
anything on the floor. I think that's what you're saying. Okay.
So
Thank you very much, Francesca, Trina, Teresa. I appreciate your time and your willingness to share this important message to folks out there listening. So for those of you at home, stay tuned to our next episode. Thank you and good night.
Good night.